Are you really listening to this podcast all by yourself? Uh, Share it with the homies. Hit that subscribe button. Watch the Climate Podcast with the bros.
Smash that button.
Let's get right into the episode.
How was that clap?
Amazing. Amazing.
Hello, and welcome everyone to the Climate Podcast. It is me, Breem Zahdan, joined by my co-host Jamil Abid. Today, we have a very, very special guest. We have one of the five pillars' very own, ABDULLAH Zamli.
Woo! Welcome to the pod.
Real quick, before I let him tell his crazy smack talk story, ABDULLAH is part of one of the best pickup groups, I guess, or organized teams, the five pillars. These guys are at every tournament. These guys used to kill me in all these damn tournaments, man. He is not a scrub. This guy played for Loyola's club team. We'll talk about that later. But ABDULLAH, man, how you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Looking forward to chatting with you guys, and thanks for having me on.
Yes, sir. Thank you for coming. So, ABDULLAH, what is the craziest smack talk story you have experienced, or if not, heard?
Oh man.
I'm sure you had your fair share.
Yeah, unfortunately, back in the day, I was a bit of I've tamed off now a little bit. I've gotten a little bit older. I used to talk a lot of smack back in the day. Craziest. So I used to play in this league by my house. It was like the Hub League. It's just like a Park District league, but it used to bring out like the top. It was three leagues, like the A League, the B League, and the C League.
Yeah.
And when we first started, like I was in high school and I played on like the C League with a bunch of my friends, and we won that league for a lot of times, and then we moved up to the B and the A when my friend Corey played in college, and we felt like we had like a better team. Mm-hmm. And during one of the thing that's crazy is like in the suburbs on these Park District leagues, usually it's like a couple decent guys and like a bunch of just older guys who just want to play basketball because it's just a Park District league. Mm-hmm. For some reason, I don't know why, but the Hub just gets a lot of good talent. Or like the A League, every single player played college or played overseas.
What?
And yes, and in a Park District league. And guys like when you knew who they were, like guys like Corey Little, who was like one of the best shooters at I think Lake Park or Addison Trail, who played. This guy Furock, who won the Division II conference player, like defensive player of the year. Guys on our team were like Jeremiah Fleming, who was one of the best like 3-point shooters in Division III basketball. Corey, who was the best point guard to ever play at Cornell College. Like guys who were legitimate hoopers. Yeah. And first of all, it's always funny because Nus Khan also played in that league too, and he was like a role player point guard, and he's a beast. Like Nus is one of the best Muslim players.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But I'll get to the smack in a second. But it was like crazy. What the first part is like, it's like kind of crazy to play amongst some of these people, and you're like sitting there and you're like, oh crap, like how am I playing? I'm like 5'10", like can kind of shoot it a little bit, but not, I'm nothing crazy. I didn't play like at a level that was like these guys. Mm-hmm. But so naturally when you have that many competitive people, it can get intense. And there's always like smack and people are like talking back and forth and whatever. But what happened one year was they would do the semifinals and the championship on the same day. And is heated end. It was like we had won our first game. We're waiting for the championship game, and it's a heated like end of game scenario. Someone gets mad at the ref. I forgot even what happened. Some call, and then people start barking back and forth. The game's over, and what ends up is just like it starts with a ref where they're going back and forth. He won't stop talking. In the league, if you get a technical, you have to pay a fine. So he tees him up three times after the game is over because he wants him to pay $75 or whatever it is. And then the other team that won or whatever is like trying to get him off the court, and they start getting into it. There's some pushing and there's some shoving, and what it turns into is like a full out brawl. Like
Malice in the Palace.
Malice in the Hub.
And the worst part is that the police station is like right next to
Bro, you guys at the cops.
Game over, dude.
and there's cameras in there. And I was at the time I don't think I was employed actually by the hub. I think it was like a year after or whatever. But I had worked at the hub and I knew exactly what they would do. They were gonna go in the cameras. They knew like all these guys. They have a roster and a sign in. But it just went kind of crazy, and it turned into, you know, something that, and you're sitting there and you're just like, oh, this is it's just hilarious, I guess, looking back. But it's also kind of, it's funny how things didn't turn out. There's all sorts of like wild, I don't know, stupid stories. There's been so many teams that have waited like outside our house, like after we won, they've waited outside in the parking lot, like trying to say something, or not to us, but to other teams that have done it. Even in the last year, actually, some dude like punched Irfan or something after one of our park district for no reason. He just like hit him in the face.
Jeez, you guys really didn't hold back. You know, you mentioned in the beginning that you've tamed down, implying that back in the day you used to be a little crazy. So I want to know, do you have anything of something that you've said or you've done and you look back and be like, dude, that was too far. I shouldn't have done that.
Wait, let me preface real quick. These guys were good, right? The five pillars. They had a squad. They were some dogs, right? I'm not gonna lie, but they used to talk crazy. So he's definitely got a story.
Actually one of the this is, I don't even know why I was talking like really at this point, but the first time I met Hassan Shoipaj, and I love Hassan. We ended up being teammates later.
I remember that guy from IFS.
He's a dog,
man. And I hope once he recovers, and I hope he gets back into it, because he was a stud. He's a star. But the first time I forgot what we were at like some YM thing, and someone was talking about like, oh, this kid's the future, like he's good. And I didn't even know the kid. There's no reason for me to say anything, but I just like looked at him. I kind of laughed. I was like, what do you mean? Like, I was like, that's the future? Oh, okay. Like something along those lines. And for no reason. Like, I don't know why I was doing things
and
like
Sir Michael Jordan quote, I took that shit personally.
Exactly. It just felt like a slight, right? Like, no one's thinking about me. I don't know what I was mad about. But I think generally, like, I would take pickup too seriously. Like, I'd kind of get into it for no reason. And now I'm just like, I'm trying to get some cardio in, lose some fat, and just like live my life. You know, it's not.
You sound like an old head man playing basketball now.
you know,
I'll still talk here and there, but not.
I wanted to ask you. So you've probably played a fair share of pickup games against Arab and against Daisies. Let's hear some stereotypes. What are the differences between how the two play and how the two act on the court? Because I know personally, I've played with Arab a lot. They talk so much and they're big into complaining. Like anything that happens, they're gonna sit there and they will stop the game to argue with the ref for no reason. Is that true, or like what's the differences between bowling against Arab and Daisies?
I agree. I think I mean, I'm Arab, so I think we complain more, we argue more. We're way more willing to like talk. Like we're I don't know. It's just like how we're wired, I guess. We're more aggressive generally, attack the rim, or like, you know, want to get in your face or something like that. But I mean, that ain't I don't know. I'm trying to think. Like all my friends, like growing up were Daisies, and I hooped with them all the time. It's the same kind of thing, but it's almost like a little bit more subtle. Like,
okay.
Like they want to hit a couple jumpers, and then they want to like do something to get under your skin, but it's not like so aggressive. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Arab, even if they're garbage, they'll still talk. So I wanted to ask you, who is the best player you've ever played against? And if you don't have a good story for that, maybe someone, you know, the best player you've seen in person, whether that's an NBA player or just anything.
Yeah, I've thought about this a lot. So Marcus Lewis is the top scorer in Finland right now, Finland Professional League, and he won the NCAA 2014 Slam Dunk Contest. Watch him dunk and like the entire college basketball Slam Dunk Contest. He played at Eastern Kentucky. He's out from Streamwood. I think he's probably the most talented player that I've ever played against. And I played with him once in a tournament, but for the most part, we've always went against each other. It's been it's been that. But he was very, very good. He's a crazy athlete.
Yeah.
And he's, you know, killing it out in Finland or whatever right now. So that's
What's his guy's
probably
name?
Fun fact, when you look up Marcus Lewis, Eastern Kentucky, and you click on his profile, the first picture that shows up is him dunking over some guy in the dunk contest. And it's like, bro, what the thing is, when you see people like on TV dunking over someone, you're just like, oh, that's standard. But it's just like nobody really understands just how difficult it is to clear another human being in a dunk contest. It's just like, I don't know.
This guy had bounce, dude. Like under the legs was nothing. It was like he dunks like Zach LaVine. Like just watch some
Really?
of the highlights. Just watch. It's insane. He's I think it's as much bounce as you could have like on the basketball court.
That's wild.
Fair enough. Okay. So next question I want to ask you is, where did your love of the game come from? Like, who did you model your game after?
Yeah. So I think like I just loved sports early on. I started playing soccer when I was really young. I moved on to I played baseball for like 2 years. I loved it, and then I moved to football. Basketball started in high school for me, actually, like my freshman year of high school. So I picked it up later than most of the other sports. I'd played a little bit before then, but the first time I'd ever played like actually organized was then. And it's like it's the easiest sport to have some friends and play. Like you could just show up to a gym, you could play 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, like or a park, and you can play year round. I love that part. And then it's also one of the sports where you can have like a really big impact as an individual player, and you can do it like it's so interesting. Like there's a lot of, you have to outsmart people. You don't just have to be super athletic. And like I love that part. I'm a competitive person. I like being competitive, and I like the fact that I could think and try to like, you know, pick apart my person or play like a mental game with whoever I was playing with. So
I mean, it makes a lot of sense too, because you do play point guard. So the fact that you kind of have to, you're basically the chess master, right? You got to move all these pieces while getting yourself and the rest of the team involved, while kind of messing with the other team, you know, offensively, things like that. So it makes sense. That's what you're saying.
So I wanted to ask you, you played club ball at Loyola. So I want to ask you first, how did you get to that level? And second, what is the difference between high school ball and club ball?
Yeah, so club ball, I'll start with the first part. So you get there, like I played high school ball, I played organized, I played under the lights, and I loved it. And I missed that part about it. So when I got to college, I wanted to get somewhere close to it.
Yeah.
And at the time, like you know, you don't think about walking on to the real team when honestly your size is like this. And, you know, I didn't think I was like skilled enough to play D1. I've realized, I think over the years, that it's a little bit easier to play D1 than people think. But the club team is like the second level of that. Like you get a jersey, you travel, you play other schools, you play in tournaments. The guys on the team are legit guys who have played at good schools. A lot of them had college offers. Our team was like particularly good, but generally they're like people who know schools, and you get to compete in like big time tournaments across the country.
Yeah.
So I found out about it. I didn't even know it was a thing coming into college, but I found out as I was like kind of hooping at the rec, and other people brought it up. You got to try out. Some schools have coaches. We had like player coaches, and then, you know, if you make the team, you make the team, and you practice a couple times a week. It's a lot more lax than obviously high school or like being an actual athlete, but you get the experience of traveling and playing and putting on a jersey, and I wanted that a lot, so I was really excited about it.
I mean, obviously it's not the same as playing for Loyola, but you're still representing your school. You're still playing against good competition, so that still must have felt, you know, nice to be able to put a jersey in, you know, to represent your squad.
Yeah.
So that's honestly really cool.
No, it was awesome. I mean, it felt, for all of us, like we cared about it, and people knew about it, and people would come out and watch our home games and stuff like that. So it was it was awesome. Like it gave you all the feelings of that without the
Yeah.
the full on commitment of being a real athlete.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, how is the skill gap between high school and club ball, and did it throw you off?
Yeah, initially everything's faster.
Yeah.
Like just and it's funny because you like when you're playing it at the high school level or whatever, you're playing organized with coaches and it's very structured and things like that. And then as you get to college, and I think there's still some there's a lot of college programs that run a pretty structured offense. Like Loyola, their college basketball team is a very methodical, takes the pace off the clock and runs offense. But everything just becomes a little bit more free on that level, and then everything becomes faster. People make decisions faster. You have to recognize plays faster. The speed is faster, and people just are more athletic. So the first time that like it happens, it does it threw me off because like shots that I thought were wide open,
Yeah.
that I was used to taking in high school, I'd have to rush because someone would close out faster, and then I'd like, the effect. I could see that, I could feel the
Yeah.
effect of my jumper. But it's just a matter of like adjusting and kind of getting a feel of those things, and then once you make that and the game slows down for you, it's a lot easier.
Yeah.
You mentioned that Loyola's team is pretty good. I just want to ask you a really simple question. Didn't you guys beat U of I this year in the tournament?
We did beat
I
you.
don't-
Oh, okay. I
don't
just
know.
wanted Jamil to hear that because Jamil's in his dorm in Champaign
Listen,
over here repping
I don't.
his
Oh
cap,
wait,
his
hold
Big
on.
Ten
I got
cap.
something for you, Jamil. I got something for you. We got Final Four, baby.
Oh my
Oh,
God!
we got you, boy.
You had
We
to win on me
got
like
you,
that. You had to win
boy.
on me like that. All right, that's fine. That's fine.
He got you. Yo, I've been dogging Jamil for the past 2 weeks about this, so thank you for jumping on so
Listen,
we
man,
can do this.
I will not tolerate this slander on my own podcast.
Jamil, if you're not Abdullah, if you're not familiar with Jamil's slander, he has slander against the goats of basketball, Bill Russell, Jerry West. We won't get into this because it's some BS how his slander. But my own slander from now on is gonna be against U of I. So
Listen,
thank you.
I was watching Loyola play the day before they played us, and they were playing against Georgia Tech. And I remember watching them and going, "How the hell are they an 8 seed?" And dude, like, I remember watching, like, this is the most disciplined team we have played against all year. Like, this is gonna be tough. And as soon as the game started, I'm just like, dude, this is crazy. I mean, you guys shut down like All-American, first team All-American. Like it was insane. What were your realistic thoughts going into the game?
No, I thought they had a chance to win. I thought like the thing with Moser and that culture that they've built over there is they're very disciplined, and
Yeah.
they play really hard-nosed defense. They got a couple guys who can make shots, and they play the right way. And I was worried about Kofi. Like I thought our biggest advantage is Krutwig, and I'm like, damn, like what's he gonna do against a 7 foot 280 like athlete? But he held his own really.
He did. He
It surprised me, and I wasn't surprised that they won. I'll say that much.
Okay, that makes sense. I remember going into the game like, nah, there's no way they have enough power to be able to stop all of our weapons, right? And then 2 minutes into the game, I'm like, oh, maybe they do. Like, maybe they do, because I didn't watch them.
What's up with Miller transferring though, man? That's kind of a shock.
I'm not surprised because Miller's always been the top dog everywhere he went. And this year he sort of had to step back to let Io do his thing. But to be honest, I thought it was pretty clear that this was going to be Adam Miller's team this year. And the fact that he just got up and left, it's like such a great program. I don't know, man. I don't know what was going on. But as soon as I saw it, I said, you know what? Forget it. We got a good coaching staff. I think Andre Curbelo is going to be our future anyway. So we'll see what happens from here, man. I think Adam Miller actually lives in the dorm building right next to me over here.
No way.
Yeah.
Really? That's crazy.
Yeah, because he's a freshman, and I live right next to where they put like the freshman athletes. So I'm like right next to him.
That's crazy. I was shocked by that too. I mean, like Morgan Park kid, he played out here. And I, like you said, I thought it was going to be his team, like him and Corbello, but you're retiring or he's graduating, going to the draft, the top guard. So I don't know. I was kind of surprised by it.
Yeah. So I wanted to track back a little. We mentioned a team name earlier this podcast called the Five Pillars. Do you want to tell us what that is, how it came to be? Who are the Five Pillars?
Sure. So there's probably there's 6 of us OGs, but at the time the first tournament we played in, we only played with 5. So we adopted the name and just kind of ran with it.
Okay.
But it's me, it's Irfan, his brother Mohsen, Rafe, and then Abu Bakr. That was our OG team, and then Kumel, who is also an OG pillar. And
that's the lanky dude, right?
Yeah, the lanky guy. Yeah. The name, I think like part of it is like we were hooping in like some non-Muslim stuff and some Muslim stuff, and we wanted a name that was about us or whatever, and it was like 5 of us that initially played in whatever tournament it was, and it just seemed like normal, and like we would like mess around and be like, oh, Abdullah speaks Arabic, so he's the Shahada, and Irfan is Hafiz, so he can be Salah, it's, whatever, but it's just like it was like a funny name that we took with, but we loved it and we just kind of ran with it for however long we did.
That's awesome, man. So how are you guys in terms of like traveling? Like, at what point was this like was this ever a full-time commitment? Because I know you guys were balling for a while, and I think you guys still are, but you guys go everywhere for tournaments, don't you?
We've gone pretty far for tournaments. Just last year we went to North Carolina. That was probably the most fun tournament I probably should have talked about that for Smack Talk. It was a lot of fun.
What you give it right now? I can hear about it.
We brought we took a like a cargo van that fits 12 people, and we brought out like 12 all Muslim ballers to North Carolina to play in this random like UNC MSA Sports Fest, because one of my buddies was telling me, you gotta come, blah blah blah. So like we show up, we play flag football the first day because it's like a 2-part tournament, and none of us play flag. Like we get to like the quarterfinals, but like we're not even good. Like we get destroyed by some team or whatever.
Yeah.
But what happens is we're all sore, like really sore. And then we played the next day in the basketball tournament, and we're like, we thought it was gonna be like all Muslim kind of tournament, and there's a ton of non-Muslims and just like ringers, like guys who every team has like 2 or 3 guys that either played in college or like are planning to play overseas, and we're sitting there and we're like, our tallest player is Mohsen Selfie, who's like 6'3" on a good day. Like, I'm gonna guard this guy. No lie, 6'10", crossed us over and then dunked in the mid play. He's 6'10", high schooler.
You guys went to North Carolina to get dunked on?
Yeah, I'm like, what? But what we won, like we beat that team. We went really, really far, and like everyone starts gathering around because they're like, this is some team from Chicago. Like this is crazy.
Represent.
And we're like, yeah, like we're snapping, we're talking back and forth, and we're shooting like deep threes. Like guys like Amar Osmani, Abrar Khan, they're like pulling from deep, and every time like they get close, we hit like a deep 3 and we start chirping. And we're like,
Amar's got a cannon, bro. Amar's a sniper.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He's a sniper, bro.
He's unconscious.
Yeah.
And we're turning to the crowd and we're like yelling every play because
oh my god,
we're just like, we're feeling it. We got to like pump ourselves up to make us feel like we belong out here. And we did belong. We probably should have won the whole thing. We were up like 3 with like 30 seconds left, and then a couple crazy plays, and they ended up taking it, so we got second place. But it was like that. Like, so we do travel. We've done that a little bit. Most of our tournaments or leagues or whatever around here. And especially now, I think like we've gotten older, like I work now, and Earth works. A lot of us, like it just becomes harder to do it. But the one really nice part is if you can like turn it into a vacation, it gets really fun. Like we had a blast at UNC. I just wish we had like 2 more days to like actually hang out rather than just like hoop. And I think that's what we want to do. We want to go like someplace every year, say salam to the Muslim community, hang out, play some basketball, and then head home, turn it into a little vacation. I think it would be awesome.
Do you guys have another tournament planned out that you're planning on attending?
Prior to COVID, yeah, so my Tennessee, like Knoxville specifically, has like a good Muslim community that runs a basketball tournament every year or something like that. And one of my buddies like went to med school there, so he knew the community there. So we were thinking about going down and bringing a team out and just hanging out. That was the plan, and we'll see. Well, inshallah khair.
We got to get you in one of the Al Zahadan hoop sessions soon.
I'm down. I wanted to make a team for this Sunday actually, but wait.
That's the crazy story. Is like he hit me up for the tournament, and I was like, yeah, but we got 8 people. But I was like, you know what? I got a question for you. And then boom, I was like, can you jump on the pod? And he's like, say less. So, that's exactly how it went down.
Well, it's lit, man.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I wanted to transition to current NBA talk. First thing I wanted to ask you is, who do you have winning the title?
I'll take a healthy Lakers team, healthy LeBron.
Healthy LeBron.
Yeah.
I haven't given proper postseason predictions in weeks now. We haven't properly discussed this in weeks now. I'm going to give the prediction: LeBron does not make it out of the West. I said it.
Who's knocking him out?
Who's he losing to?
Yeah.
I think he can lose to either the Clippers or the Jazz. Those are the only 2 teams he actually can lose against. Any other team he can beat, those are his 2 biggest opponents, I would say.
You know who Utah reminds me of?
Who?
Utah reminds me of the Hawks when they had the bench mob, when they were the 1st seed and they were killing it and they were doing amazing in the regular season. And then what happened? They met LeBron and they got killed.
Listen, man.
I think that's exactly what's going to happen.
This Jazz team, they're insane. They're insane. I mean, also, don't even count out the Nuggets. I think the Lakers will probably beat the Nuggets, but the Nuggets might go far, man. I mean, they have arguably the MVP on their team. Like, it's ridiculous. Who do you think, Abe? Who do you think's winning it all?
I want to go with the Lakers, but another answer that it's crazy that I'm saying this, the Nets, man. The Nets, if they're healthy and if they just need to re-up on one more big. That's all they need. They need some defense. Their bench is solid with the pickup of Iman Shumpert, but that team, like, you have the best scorer probably in NBA history by the time his career is over, KD.
Yeah.
One of the best ball handlers ever, and then James Harden is just playing out of his mind as a point guard, which is freaking crazy. But I don't know, man. It's a toss-up between the Lakers and Brooklyn. Granted, they're both healthy.
So, Abdullah, I wanted to ask you, because I think the Nets are going to win it all as well. How do you think, assuming that the Nets make it out of the East, how do you think the Lakers will be able to match up against the Nets?
Well, they got some size to slow down. KD, and at least meet him at the rim. Harden, meet him at the rim. And then they have wing guys that'll play D. They got, Caldwell Pope. They got it. It's gonna be difficult. Like with those guys, when you're not gonna stop Harden or Kyrie or whoever. That Nets team is stacked. It's a very, very good team. I find it hard to bet against LeBron, and it's hard to bet against LeBron when he got AD at his side as well. I don't know. Yeah. What they're gonna have to do is just make them make layups and then make their layups contested as much as they can.
I think the only thing that's stopping the Nets from winning it all is having time playing together. Like Durant has been out for 20, 30 games. Mm-hmm. And then Harden all of a sudden emerged as one of the front runners for MVP. And then it's just like, and before that, KD was one of the front runners for MVP. And it's just like, they haven't really gotten proper time to play together. And then you have Kyrie. Everyone forgets about Kyrie. He just had a postie the other day. And then you just had Blake Griffin. I wanted to ask you, now that I've mentioned Blake Griffin, what do you think was a bigger deal? The Nets adding Blake Griffin and Aldridge, or the Lakers adding like the best rebounder in the league, Andre Drummond?
The Nets adding
really
Blake Griffin and Aldridge, yeah.
I was saying that Andre Drummond was a bigger deal than getting those two for the Nets, only because like if I had the choice between the two for the Bulls, I think the Bulls definitely need that big who's going to get every single rebound. Like I'd pick Drummond even over those two guys. It's just like I didn't get it.
I lived in Michigan for 3 years. I watched Andre Drummond play. That man is garbage.
Yeah, his offense is scrappy.
Those rebounds, empty rebounds. They're not.
They're not going anywhere.
This man was signed to be AD's backup and couldn't guard anyone. Was getting dunked on already.
Yeah.
It's no, I don't want to. I mean, it's helpful. They're gonna that, and that's like they have now another paint protector, another rebound. I'm not gonna like bash on Drummond like as if he's gonna see this and care, but like you know, I think like Griffin has showed he bounces well off Harden, he bounces well off Kyrie, he can find good spots. And when you know that you got guys like Aldridge reminds me a lot of David West when he joined the Warriors and won a championship with the Warriors.
Good comparison, actually.
And they get like, and the crazy part is, I love David West, but Aldridge is better than West still. And you just have so much firepower on that team. Drummond, at the end of the day, you could get a big to guard him. And what Drummond's value is like on the defensive end and on the rebounding end. It's not just like scoring, but in the playoffs, when you got 6-7 guys you got a game plan for and that have a move and can score, I think that's just going to be so hard to deal with.
Yeah. Do you think Griffin faked it?
Faked what?
Faked his whole, I'm old and a khatiyar, I can't dunk anymore, blah, blah, blah. You think he faked it?
No, I just think he was miserable in Detroit. I don't blame him. He tried. He was really good his first year, man. He was really good in Detroit. He was an all-star, I think, actually.
I think he was. He was like, all of a sudden he's yamming it down. This man hasn't dunked since 2019. Comes out here dunking on people like, bro. Like,
it's a lot easier to dunk when Harden's throwing you lobs.
Yeah, that's true. That's
true. Very true. Very true.
That's true, man. Okay, who do you think is to blame for this Nets team? I'm blaming it on LeBron. I'm the number one LeBron hater on the planet Earth. Do you think all this? Oh, let's put two of the best 5 scorers in NBA history, and I actually stand by that. Durant and Harden are 2 of the best 5 scorers in NBA history. Whose fault is that? I say it's LeBron's fault.
LeBron's fault? Why, you think he started the whole super team thing? That's your whole shtick?
My whole shtick. I know he technically didn't start it, but he started a new age of it. Like the fact that he took Chris Bosh in his prime, D Wade with his last couple years of his prime, put them together and got the best shooter in NBA history at the time, who was Ray Allen, it all to beat the Celtics. It's like, I don't get it.
I hear you that he started a new era because it's like player led a little bit through free agency. I don't think that team in Miami was that crazy compared to some of the teams like the Brooklyn team or even the Lakers team with Anthony Davis. And because the thing the problem isn't the superstars. Honestly, it's the fact that they get all these guys to sign for the mid-level exception. Like even the Lakers, like you're getting Andre Drummond, you're getting Markieff Morris, you're getting like serviceable players deep down in your bench. The Heat team, for example, they had to get Shane Battier, Udonis Haslem. They won a title with Joel Anthony. Like
and that's with pay cuts too.
Exactly. So it's tougher now. I don't know. I don't know who to blame. I guess maybe I blame KD or Harden for calling each other up and trying to come over there. Like, yeah, Harden could have went anywhere.
Yeah.
I forgot who said this, but somebody was making a good point, and the exact question was brought to them, and they said the best person or the best thing to blame is the media, because all that we talk about now in the GOAT conversation is who has the most rings. So when you talk about a guy like James Harden, no one says he's the GOAT simply because he just doesn't have a ring, right? We're all in agreement that he's one of the best we've ever seen, one of the best scorers, best passers, whatever you want to call it. The media has put so much pressure on these players to go out and get rings in order to be at this GOAT status, where it's like they almost feel the need to kind of team up and get a guaranteed ring. I forgot who was saying. I think it was Damian Lillard, but don't quote me on that. But he was saying like, the media puts so much pressure on these guys that they feel like they need to get these rings. They need to team up with each other in order to get them.
Now that you mentioned the media, so like obviously I think Kevin Durant probably made the weakest move in NBA history going to the Warriors, but I think it's kind of garbage that he's still getting even more hate for Harden coming in. Like someone made fun of it on TikTok. They made a TikTok of it. It's like, what is Durant supposed to do? If Harden says he wants to come to the Nets, you want Durant to be like, nah, I don't want him to come. I'm doing this by myself. Like if James Harden says, I want to come, you're going to let James Harden come. Like it's not, I don't know. How much of an impact do you think the media had on this?
No, I agree. I think that is especially a good point. Especially the like Harden personally has been crucified in the Rockets because of the one game in San Antonio and because of the fact that he couldn't beat the Warriors. But the Warriors are an all-time great team even without KD, and I think they're going to be back. I'm a big Warriors fan, so I think they're going to win another ring post KD. Just wait on it.
Oh, you think so?
I think they will. I think
Oubre is going to find his way out when Klay Thompson comes back because there's some delusional thing going on in this guy's mind for him to be like, yeah, I don't want to be a bench player. When you got probably the best knockdown shooter in NBA history, maybe top 3 of all time on that team, and you're going to be like, nah, I want to be a starter. It's just like Kelly Oubre is already a big problem. I think
your role, man. That's why guys like Sean Livingston, Andre Iguodala at the time still had a contract, still had big minutes because they knew their role. If he figures that out, man, that team, like Abdullah's saying, that team is going to be scary, man. Look at that lineup on paper. That's a scary team, bro, once they figure it out.
Yeah. You know what team is going to be scary? And I might be speaking too soon because they just lost.
Yeah, we got clapped.
We got clapped by 12 points. The Bulls.
They lost on Levine's historic night?
Yeah.
What do you end up with, like 56? What do you finish with?
Yeah. Probably. So we're filming this on Friday, and before we started filming, for the listeners, Levine had what, 39 in the first half?
Yeah, 39.
Yeah, he had 39 in the first half. When I was watching, it was the third quarter, and he had close to 50. He was flirting with 50. And he probably ended the game with around that.
Dang, dude.
Yeah, he had 50.
Damn.
He had 50 points.
Oh
man.
Oh my god.
What happened?
He lost by 12 and he scored 50. Is that not like, I find that like
Trae Young had 42. So it's not like
what y'all think about like the Vucevic trade, some of the activity on trade deadline? Because I've been arguing this with some of my friends. I want to hear your thoughts.
Well, we gave up I think it was a pick. We gave up Wendell Carter. Thank the Lord. We gave up dude. Wendell Carter made me so mad. The fact that we had someone 6'9" starting at center. No. And not only that, he couldn't he was okay at rebound, average at best. Okay. He couldn't defend. He was getting absolutely murdered by Jokic, murdered by Embiid. We can't be allowing these big men to come in who are over 7 feet to score 50 on us every single night. Okay, so thank God we got rid of him. I don't know how we got rid of Otto Porter's contract. Like, Magic are probably one of the dumbest franchises in NBA history. I don't know how they keep losing their star players.
Yeah, they didn't sign Chris Webber, so that's another sign too. They had a chance of getting Chris Webber, and they didn't.
Like, thank God we got rid of Otto Porter. So we got rid of Luke Cornett. Thank God. And we got Vucevic. I mean, I think this was a complete win. Vucevic is a beast. So, I don't know. What do you think? What have you been arguing about?
So the main argument has been, and I agree, Vucevic is a very good offensive player, but the main argument has been this move gets them to mediocrity. Like they may be a 4 seed, maybe at best, maybe a 5 or 6, maybe they make the playoffs. Why are we doing this when we could try to build through the draft? Like, why are we giving up our picks? Let's go for Cade Cunningham or whoever else. And the argument's been back and forth between some of us, like, you can't count on the draft. You got to build some winning culture versus you can't count on these vets. You need to invest in some young players.
I have the perfect answer for that. So there are 2 routes teams in the NBA can go right now. Either A, building through picks, like you just mentioned, or B, they go the Brooklyn 2018 Nets route, meaning they build a mediocre team, they barely squeeze into the playoffs, and then they get crazy free agents because they have a solid team. And I think that's what Karnisovas is going to be doing. I think, hopefully, after this loss, it's a little steeper now. We can squeak into the 8 spot, and I really hope we do, because if we do, I think we're getting a huge free agent signing this summer. I think that's the route we're going
I
to.
was thinking the same thing. I think we just need to make the playoffs, and once we do, I don't expect some insane once in a generation talent to come join the Bulls in free agency, but hopefully another all-star to make our team better, to put us, in that playoff hunt, not in contention, but
Yeah,
but
that
the
makes
two
sense.
picks was a bit sus. Me and my cousin were talking about that as well. The two draft picks was a little too much, but
We
I
we
just
could
wanted to
have
see what.
we could have gotten to Sumu. Guess not. Guess not. um, how do you think the Bulls are going to end this season? Because let me look at the standings. The Bulls are. Here, let me refresh this page now.
Check this morning. We're at the 10th, unless the standings
Yeah,
change.
we're still the 10th. We are now 2 games behind the Pacers for the 9th, but we are only 4 games behind the 4th seed from the Hawks.
4 games behind the
Pacers
4th
are-
seed.
Yeah,
That's crazy. And
like
has
4.5.
it so sorry, remember how it works this year with the 8, 9, 10? What are they this play-in game? Who gets to play in?
I'm not sure, but I know it's a tournament, and I know it's for the 8th seed. So I think it is the 8th, 9th, and 10th for like a little tournament.
The second half of the regular season will be followed by the 2021 NBA Play-In Tournament, May 18th to 21. Teams with the 7th highest through 10th highest winning percentages in each conference will qualify to determine the 7th and 8th seed. Okay, so 7, 8, 9, and 10 are going to be playing it. That's crazy.
That's gonna be fun though. So the 9th and
Really
10th place
fun.
play each other, and then the 7th and 8th, and then after that, it's like that's pretty cool. So it's like a mini playoffs basically.
That'll be good basketball to watch.
Yeah, because that's gonna be some competitive as hell basketball just to make the playoffs. So
You know what? I think if we're sitting in right now, I think we can actually have a good chance if we're in that play-in.
almost definitely.
Because right now it's the Celtics, Knicks, Pacers, and Bulls. I think Celtics and Bulls come out of it.
Yeah.
Dang, that Knicks got a solid bunch this year. Knicks are like in the same boat as the Bulls, where they're kind of hoping to sneak into mediocrity and get a big free agent, a big market.
You know, I don't know.
It'll be close.
I don't know why they signed Derrick Rose. I think Derrick Rose should have literally just
Tibbs.
jumped on a bandwagon somewhere. I mean, not that he had the choice, but why were they going for Derrick Rose? I think they should have saved
Tibbs,
up.
bro.
What's up?
It's because of Tibbs. It's that simple.
Yeah, but like I feel like they could be saving up more money to get someone good for this summer. Like, is his name Obadiah Toppin? Obi Toppin. His name is Obadiah. Obi Toppin.
You know his name playing.
He has been underwhelming this year. As I think he's still considered a rookie. This man's old too. They have a lot of scraps on their team, and it's like they're getting whatever scraps are left from that Bulls team. I think I got Taj Gibson on that team. Like what?
It's Tibbs, bro. I'm telling you, Tibbs likes bringing his guys, bro.
Is Tom Thibodeau still living in 2010, 20? Like I don't.
Tibbs, I don't know why, but Tibbs brought like Taj Gibson everywhere he went. He was on the Timberwolves.
He was on the Wolves too, yeah.
On the Wolves when he went. So like,
respect
hey,
that,
shout out-
man.
I mean, his guys love him, man. There's a sense of loyalty. I love that. And come on, man. Like, if you're Taj Gibson playing for Tom Thibodeau for the Bulls, aren't you gonna want to like play wherever you want, wherever he goes, Johnny?
If I'm Taj Gibson,
Come on.
coming out straight from the Bulls, I still got 2 or 3 more decent years left in me.
Like, who else is gonna sign him?
No. Listen, if I'm reversing back in time, and I'm Taj Gibson, still got 2 or 3 decent, solid years left in me. I'm not going to the Timberwolves. You know where I'm going? I'm going to the Warriors. I'm getting the championship. I'm retiring.
Like, Taj Gibson's gonna be able to pick and choose where he wants to go.
Roya Cancun. That's where I'm going.
Oh my god.
Like, I'm not going to Minnesota with like nothing.
It's like joke him no Cleveland. I
Cleveland?
never know what to talk about going to Cleveland.
I don't go on vacations to Minnesota.
Oh man,
Hey, they got-
Minnesota, the state with 1,000 lakes. There's some decent things out there.
That's why the Lakers are called the Lakers, by the way.
Oh, because
They
they're
say
initially from
Minnesota.
Minnesota. Oh my God, is that facts? Or you
Yeah.
making that up?
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
Why are the Lakers called the Lakers?
in the thumbnail why the Lakers called the Lakers.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, they were because they were a Minneapolis team, the land of 10,000 lakes. Yeah. So next thing I wanted to talk about is the MVP race. The current MVP ladder. We got number 1, Nikola Jokic. Number 2, Damian Lillard. Number 3, Joel Embiid. Number 4, Giannis. Number 5, James Harden. And then the last 5 are Luka, Kyrie, Kawhi, LeBron, Booker, Paul. So top 5 is Jokic, Lillard, Embiid, Giannis, Harden. Do you think Nikola Jokic is the MVP frontrunner?
No, I think it's got to be Joel Embiid. I feel like he's been killing this year. The Sixers are good. They're I don't know if they're still the 1 seed, but they've been up there like the whole time, and he just added like some elements to his game. Jokic has been awesome too, I guess. I have less of a problem with Jokic being that high. So either one of those guys, but I think for me it's Joel, the way he's just been doing it, and the team that he's like risen up. Like that team is not that different from last year, but they're playing at a much higher level this year.
Yeah. Do you think Damian Lillard deserves to be 2 while James Harden and Giannis are at 4 and 5?
I'm good with that. Yeah. A lot of this stuff is like media narrative, I think, a little bit. And it's like kind of like amongst the stars, who are you going to pick with? But I think Damian Lillard deserves a lot of respect, especially like they had CJ McCollum was injured for a long time. Yusuf Nurkic was injured for a little bit. He's always injured. And Lillard held them in stride. They have a much better team than the Warriors, but they could have slipped into where the Warriors were a little bit. But Lillard has just been steady, and they're going to make the playoffs like easily. And I think that deserves a high ranking above like some Harden or whatever. Even though it's just that's how I feel. I like more prefer the one guy on that team.
Yeah, and I agree. I think a big problem with Joel Embiid being at 3 instead of number 1 is media narrative. Like he got injured for 10 games. Everyone's like, oh, not the MVP anymore. It's like, what are you, everyone forgot. Like people forced themselves to forget what he was doing. I think it should be Joel Embiid at 1, Nikola Jokic at 2, 3, James Harden, 4, Damian Lillard, and 5, Giannis. That's personally how I see it. But I think after 1 and 2, it really doesn't even matter. What do you think, Abe? Who are your front runners?
I think you can't go wrong with either JoJo or Jokic. I'm more excited about the fact that a big man's is gonna win MVP this year, man, because that's amazing. Because it's always been a guard or a wing. It's been annoying. Not in the sense that they don't deserve it, but I just want to say Chris Paul should be up there, man. Chris Paul should be top 7, top 6, maybe even top 5. I can argue, just because that Suns team they're special, man. They're gonna be a sleeper in the playoffs, so excited to watch them play.
Last thing I wanted to ask you is, what do you think of us transitioning to a quote unquote softer era of basketball at the expense of getting players who are more talented than ever before? Like I miss an era of basketball where Nazir Muhammad decided to try and kill LeBron in the middle of a playoff game. I personally miss those days, but looking at players now, they're doing things that we have never ever seen before. Do you think that that's okay? We're going in that direction, or do you still miss that? I literally want to kill you right here, right now, basketball.
No, I think it's okay. I like that part of the reason that it gets softer is that the talent just gets better, kind of like what you're alluding to. Like it's there's less of a space for brute force because it just doesn't matter. You'll blow past that person or whatever. To the limit though. The limit for me is like all this stuff that you're seeing, like the Trae Young backing into somebody, or like the reach fouls that are turned into shooting fouls. Curry does this a lot. Curry's my favorite player, but he'll like pump fake and lean in kind of. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that in basketball. And the other thing, honestly, is like the flagrant fouls are a little too much for me too. Like the flagrant ones in the league are so soft, but I just don't see that changing. I think that's just going to be the way it is for for a long time now. But I do think that they will implement a rule change as early as this summer about the Trae Young shot or the lean in shot, because those should be offensive fouls. And the difference also, I think, like in the eras, a lot of times people are taking charges now instead of like hitting you over the head, and that like it makes the offensive player have to think about what they're going to do, and they can't just like, you know, full force themselves in there. So I'm okay with that part. I just want to see some of the other stuff get cut out.
Yeah, I was hearing someone online, and I want to know if you agree, saying that defense, it's hitting a plateau. It really can't get better than what it is right now, but offense is only getting better. Would you agree with that? That like defense, you can't really get better than what we're at right now, but offense is just going to keep continuing, and we're just going to have this huge disparity between offense and defense.
No, I don't think I agree with that. I think defensively you can get a little bit better, because what happens in the playoffs, you see when they let a little bit more whistles go, you get more physical, and also the rotations are tighter, it's less lazy. I get a little bit of the criticism of the NBA like being less watchable because there's less defense in like a day-to-day game. So I think there's still a lot of room. Like you could be the rotations and the charges are going to keep developing, and how teams are going to start switching these screens, and like the bigs are going to be able to switch out. There's going to be a lot more Draymonds like as the years go on. So I think there's still a lot of room for the defense to grow. The offense, I mean, people are just doing things that are like I couldn't even think of when I was playing like high school. So it'll be interesting. I'll watch closely, I guess, over the years.
For as annoying as the NBA might get sometimes, I think it's still so much more watchable than college basketball. And no, I'm not saying that because we lost. We had amazing games this season. But I watch college players and I just go, what the hell am I watching? These players are taking forever. They're running these like down screens. Let me get my feet set. Let me pass the ball. And then like they're not doing anything with it. And they have like 30 seconds on the shot clock. With NBA, bro, these guys are running and gunning. They're doing something 5 seconds into the shot clock. It's crazy.
Me and my brother have been talking about that actually a lot, because we were talking about all these. There's a lot of people that tweet out like college basketball is way more fun than the NBA, and I love watching it. It's like, I think there's no better basketball than March Madness. Like it's so fun. I'll watch that, and as boring or like as it's like not great basketball. They miss shots. They like make mistakes, but I think that's part of what gets it exciting is like everything is close and anything can happen.
Yeah.
But the pure talent level is first of all, the NBA is a lot of fun to watch. I love watching the NBA. The skill is really fun to watch, and they just play at a different level that it's so hard to like play defense or whatever. So I think that gets overshadowed in that conversation, but it is always funny to hear.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, we're gonna do a quick start bench cut.
Wait.
I think Ibrahim wanted to do this, and then we'll
preface this one. Start bench cut. You probably saw this one. We're doing. It's gonna be tough, man. Martin Suffy, Irfan Suffy, Rob Becker.
What you trying to get me in trouble? That's what you trying to do. Watch this group chat gonna be busting a little bit.
Yeah, send this to the boys, bro, but just make sure they stop watching before this.
Oh man.
So who are you gonna start? Who are you gonna bench? And who are you gonna cut?
Oh man. They're all different. I can start all of them now. I would, if I had to, I would start Mohsen. That's my big. Me and Mo played in leagues together when Irf didn't play with us. I would bench Abu Bakr.
Ooh.
And I will cut Irfan.
Don't do Irf like that, man.
Listen, if Irf was in anywhere near playing shape, he might be start on this list. I don't know the last time Irf touched a basketball. It might have been quarantine messed a lot of us up. It messed Irf up.
He got married, right? He got married, right?
He got married.
He got married.
So we'll give him the pass. We'll give him the pass.
It's over. He's never coming off that bench. He's never getting.
He's been building a house and stuff. He's been busy with other real life.
Shout out Irf. That's I'm really happy for him. When I heard about it, I was happy for him. But we'll give him the pass on this one, man. We'll give him the pass.
Okay, a quick start bench cut. Jason Williams, Rondo, CP3. Ooh, this
Start
is fun.
CP3. That's a good point guard. Oh man, Rondo, J. Will. I'm not a big fan of Rondo. I'll bench J. Will just for the elbow pass, and I'll cut Rondo.
Yeah.
But Rondo's also another great point guard. That one's a tough one.
I heard the best basketball mind that I know on Instagram today talking about Rondo versus CP3 and how he would take Rondo any day over the week over CP3 only because of playoffs. So if I'm going regular season primes, I'm doing CP3, then Rondo bench, and then Jason Williams cut. But honestly, I've seen both of them play in the playoffs, and if I'm going playoffs, I might actually just start Rondo. I'll
Talking
start Rondo,
playoffs.
bench CP3, and cut Jason Williams.
Man, look, playoff Rondo is real. I can see him over Jason Williams, but CP3 is no slouch in the playoffs.
That's true.
And
He almost single-handedly beat the Warriors if he didn't get injured.
Hamstring away from winning a title, man.
Even before that, he pushed the Spurs dynasty on the Hornets to 6 games.
Oh yeah.
With the Clippers, he beat the Warriors in a series. I mean, that was a younger Warriors team, but he beat the Warriors. He beat the Rockets that year when they were down 3-1. He had a game winner in Game 7. Like, he gets a lot of slack because he's been in the West and he's never made it to the finals. Rondo's playoffs have been with the Celtics, and then he had some like decent runs with Anthony Davis, like a couple, or in the Bulls, like a couple rounds. But he didn't go. It's not like he won the East or anything like that. I don't know, but maybe I'm just hating on Rondo. I don't know why. Rondo's a good player.
Rondo arguably carried those teams. Arguably, he was like beasting.
Yeah, he was.
What about you, Abe? What do you got?
I'm gonna have to bench white chocolate, cut white chocolate, and I'm starting CP3 and benching Rondo.
Okay, fair enough. Now we are going to do a snake draft of the best point guards of all time. So snake draft is it's you, me, Ibrahim, and then Ibrahim, me, you. So Ibrahim gets 2 picks at the end, and then you get 2 picks when it comes back to you. I put an example list. If you want to look at it, you can pick whoever comes to your mind anyway. But yeah, so I guess we'll start off with you, Abdullah. Who's your first pick for, your point guard roster?
Give me Steph Curry, man.
Steph Curry.
Yep.
Okay, I can respect it. Me, I'm picking Derrick Rose. I don't think there is another point guard that is going to be comfortably guarding him. Like, he's so scary to guard.
I
know who you're going to pick.
Who?
Want me to say it for you?
Yeah.
Ibrahim's picking Magic Johnson.
I actually wasn't. I was going to pick him second, but yeah, I'm going Damian Lillard, Magic Johnson.
Okay.
Damian Lillard.
Damian Lillard.
Okay.
I'm
there's something about Dame Doll that I love. Like, aside from his basketball, just his swagger and like his I don't give a shit mentality. Like, I'm killing you. I love that.
Yeah. I'm picking I'm gonna go John Stockton.
John Stockton, okay. I'll go OG Isaiah Thomas. And
I was choosing between him, yeah.
You gotta rep Detroit a little way.
Wait, you keep talking about Detroit. What's up with that?
I went to Michigan Law School, so I was living in Michigan.
Sick.
Yeah.
Sick.
Michigan Law School. Well, that's crazy. What?
Repping them right here, baby.
Man.
That's pretty cool.
Dang. And then I'll go with Steve Nash as the second point guard.
So you're always watching March Madness crazy every year, regardless. That's insane.
Yeah, we're good every year.
Man. Okay. Did you pick the Big O? Because I'll take the Big O. I'm taking Oscar Robertson.
I like it.
Right. I'm going AI.
Oh.
I'm really surprised he went this deep.
Yeah, I forgot because this list didn't count him as a point guard. I think I would count him as a point guard though.
I would count him as a point guard as well. Yeah. Man, I am going to go Big Shot Billups, Chauncey Billups, bro.
Oh, I like it.
Ooh.
Chauncey Billups is a freaking beast, bro.
You know, I'm taking Starbury.
What?
Stephon Marbury.
I mean, he was good, but
Beast.
there's okay.
Oh man, give me Chris Paul. He hasn't been picked yet, right?
CP3. No. Close it out with the last pick.
And then I'll take Jason Kidd.
Oh, Stephon Marbury had a beast career. Holy cow. I knew his numbers were good, but not this good. Okay.
He had nice shoes.
Yeah. Yeah, the Starbury. I'm picking Russell Westbrook.
Russ doesn't get enough credit, man. Honestly. Like, I love his play style, the grit, the grind. Kobe shouted him out so many times, him and like other players, so you know he's a real one. My last pick. You know what? I'm gonna go with blanking out. I'm gonna go white chocolate. Jason Williams.
Ooh. Do I already have 5? I ask this every week.
Yeah, 5, sir. So Abdullah, you got Steph Curry, Isaiah Thomas, Steve Nash, CP3, and Jason Kidd. That's a pretty fire team. Jameer, you got Derrick Rose, John Stockton, Oscar Robinson, Starberry, and Russ. That Starberry pick's a little sus, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Dude, he had a beast career. I don't know what you're talking about.
He's a beast. He's a beast, but it's like there are other guys you could.
I want to make a trade for Gary Payton, but it's okay. It's too late now.
Oh, that would have been a nice one too.
Yeah.
I got Dame Dollar, Magic Johnson, AI, Chauncey Billups, and White Chocolate.
Who's winning, Abe? Who do you think's winning out of all 3?
Obviously, my team, man. What you mean? Come
No
on,
shot
now.
with Mike Chocolate. No shot. Talk about sus. That's
Yeah, you're talking about sus. Talk about white chocolate, bro. What the hell?
Yo, the elbow pass, man, is getting it done.
All right. Well, before we send you off, Abdullah, we have one last question for you.
Wait, before this.
What?
Before this, sorry. We got to give him the quick platform to talk about KXP.
Yes.
We didn't bring this up. Sorry to cut you off, Jameen.
Go ahead.
Real quick, talk about KXP in a couple minutes, couple seconds, whatever you want to do, what your guys' goal is. Plug it, do what you want to do.
Yeah, for sure. So we KXP is the nonprofit organization that me and a group of my high school friends started this summer. We're a registered 501c3. We've been in almost a year now. We started like at the end of last Ramadan, like in June or July of last year. What we do or what we try to do is we're a gap filling organization. So there's a lot of need across the country, but specifically in our Chicagoland community and a little bit in the greater Midwest. And we try to fill gaps. So we work with community partners, community organizations. We tell them, hey, what does your community need X month or Y month? And we will try to help you fill that gap, because you know best what your community needs. We don't want to come in here and just give stuff away or give stuff that's unnecessary. We'll try to work with you so you guys can meet your community and we can help you meet that need. And alhamdulillah, it's been a huge success. We've done over $40,000 in monetary and lunch and item donations, material donations in the past 9 months. And it feels like it's getting bigger and bigger every month. So definitely check us out on Instagram. We got a website. KXP Campaigns is the plug. And the one thing we're trying to do this year is in the summer, inshallah, as cases keep coming down, we're trying to have like a big outdoor field day at a local park, and have some soccer, have some spike ball, have some food vendors come out, and just like a place for families and people to get together and hang out and see a little bit of what it is, like get to know us a little bit so that they know who they're donating to, but also just to put the community together and get to hang out, because there's a lot of connections that can happen this way, and a lot of things that we're looking forward to doing. So keep us out, and to the extent that you can share stuff about us, feel free to do so. But yeah.
For sure. Everyone, check out KXP in the description below. All the details are down there. Okay, so I have one last question for you, Abdullah. Who is somebody that we should have on the podcast that you can help us get?
Oh man. So three names come to mind, and then you let me know what makes the most sense. One My boy Usfer Andy, I think you guys know him a little bit. He's big sports fan, big basketball guy. It'll be a lot of fun to talk some sports with him. And he's a mad hooper himself.
Yeah, I've seen
He
him.
talks a lot of smack too.
He's a
Talks
beast.
a lot of smack. He talks more than me.
Yeah, he does.
Oh, yeah, no, we know.
He can tell you the story of how me and him got into it, but it doesn't.
Tell the story about how him and Abe got into it.
Oh, you guys got into it too,
Bro. He's a great guy though. He's a great guy.
He's really awesome, and I think he'd be a good find. I've talked to him a little bit about him a little bit. My friend Corey, who ended up being he went to D3 school, Cornell College, and was just a tank at basketball there. Led his school in like 7 different categories. Was one of the best Division III players in the country. Fun guy. A little bit busier now. He got all sorts of ish going on, but definitely happy to make the connection. And lastly, and shameless plug again, but my little brother just finished his senior season at Glenbard West High School.
Okay.
They went 16-1. They were a top 5 team in the state. He played point guard. He's a 6'3" point guard and started a couple games for them. So wasn't like some scrub who I didn't even play nearly as much as he did. He was a solid ball player. He's got some nice highlights. So any of those guys, you guys can reach out to me, and then hopefully I can try to set some up. But good luck, and it was fun. It was fun having a conversation with y'all.
Appreciate it, Abdullah. Thank you for coming on the podcast. Thank you everyone for listening to the Climate Podcast. Good night.